Studio 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. This is the second game of the Mono Vampire Basketball Club in their comeback season in the Asean Basketball League. Their first game, they gave us an outstanding one as they took on the Westport's Malaysia Dragons in a loss. But first, let's look at the new tournament format as this is a new and landmark season in the ABL. We have 9 teams in the league grouped into 3 groups. Those teams in the same groups will play each other 4 times, 2 home and 2 away, and then face the teams from the other groups 2 times, 1 home and 1 away. After that, we will have the first 2 teams heading straight into the semi-finals. Teams from numbers 3 to 6 will play in a best of 3 quarterfinal series. Semi-finals also a best of 3 before we crown an ABL champion after a 5-game series. Thank you again for joining us here in Stadium 29. Your analyst for today is champion ABL coach Ariel Vanguardia.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and it's great to be back. And we know how important every game is with the new format, and we know both teams are coming off a loss, so expect a very good battle this afternoon.
Very quickly, let's take a look at our team standings. Chongson Kung Fu still on top of the list, undefeated, alongside Hong Kong Eastern Basketball Club and the Westport Malaysia Dragons. CLS 9 Singapore, both at 1-1. And as you can see, Mono Vampires are looking for their first victory. They have a much better lineup compared to the one they had 2 seasons ago, where Coach AV won his first title. But the first game did not get them the result that they wanted as they lost in double overtime against the Westport Malaysia Dragons.
It was a high-scoring shootout, that game with the Malaysia Dragons. But both teams were trying to feel each other. Both teams played their first game, so they were blind with the scouting. But I expect a better game from Mono, and they got to tighten up.
As you can see, people already having a grand time inside Stadium 29. The visitors are ready. The home team is ready as we're set to have another action-packed matchup for the first few games of the 8th season in the ABL. The teams already busy warming up here. They will be recalled to their benches for our pre-game formalities. Coach, what are you expecting from the home team, Mono Vampire, in this game?
Well, I expect them to control the rebound. I think that will be key today, since the way CLS struggled against Singapore in their rebound, they only had 5 second chance points. I think they will try to capitalize.
How about for CLS? How can they bounce back from suffering their first loss of the season at the hands of the Slingers?
It was CLS first away game, that game against Singapore. It's really tough to Singapore at home. But they have to have more production from their bench, since they only have 5 points from their bench in that game.
Now, CLS had an outstanding debut here in the ABL as they scored a huge victory on their home floor. But the problem is they had a couple of injuries. Brian Williams, of course, went down in the second quarter. Duke Cruz was injured in the third quarter, and he would be replaced, at least temporarily, by Evan Grubb. So CLS, their team is quite different from what they were practicing with in the preseason.
Yes, it was tough for them to lose Duke Cruz, who's their resident import in their local league also the last season. So I think they've adjusted well, and Brock gives them a lot of experience. He's a champion player here in the ABL, so I expect them to play better tonight.
Both teams will be introduced for the start of this ball game.
CLS 9 Indonesia. And first player number 1, Frederick Rich. Number 2, Evan Brock. Number 5, Mario Wilson. Number 8, Arnak Wisnu. Number 9, Sandy Kunirawan. Number 10, Febri Utomo. Number 11, Arif Hidayat. Number 13, Caleb Gemiran. Number 16, Pri Raman Nugroho. Number 24, Mo Sarinoi. Number 27, Dima Aradi Asia. And number 33, Brian Williams. Head coach, Mr. Gogo Nugroho. Assistant coach, Mr. Ricky Ditauri. Introducing for Mono Vampire Basketball Club. First player number 9, Wenwer Hayrat Tira. Number 99, Batkun Ganat Samerjai. Number 65, Big Jirawatan Taton. Number 77, Pe Chichai Ananti. Number 69, Pam Nirongpan Abhirong Vilachai. Number 12, Boy Sirapong Bunyai. Number 38, Nat Anat Pungla. Number 3, J.O. Rashid Krutiwa. Number 5, Jason Brickman. Number 42, Reggie Johnson. Number 6, Frantic Sander. And last player number 8 for Christian Sama. Head coach Mr. Mali Jaglar. Team manager Mr. Apishok Seko. Assistant coach Mr. Tongki Singhaseni. And Mr. Supakitli Tongtip. Referee for this game, representing Mr. Garcia Jonar from Philippines. Umpire 1, Mr. Liang Shen Wing from Singapore. Umpire 2, Mr. Woron Rico from Philippines. And the commissioner, Mr. Dr. Pratum Mohi from Thailand.
Our players are ready. Our officials are also ready for the tip-off of this game. Mono Vampire versus CLS Knights of Indonesia. Mono Vampire searching for their first victory, while CLS is hoping not to lose back-to-back games very early in this season. Coach, how important is it to win all of these early games? Because as we know, the top 2 teams will go straight into the semifinals.
It's very important to rack up those W's, especially early on, that the teams have not really scouted their opponents, and so I expect that teams will really go at it tonight, especially both of them are coming off losses.
Evan Brock might have been a replacement import for Duke Cruz, but he had a very good performance in a losing effort though to Singapore. 22 points, 12 rebounds, solid shooting from the field at 9 of 21. The problem, if there's any, for that first performance of Brock was that he might have gassed out in the 4th quarter of that game. Let's now look at what happened in the last game of Mono Vampire against the Malaysia Dragons. They had a total of 44 3-point shots, making only 20.5% from that area. And I know you want to get into this. Reggie Johnson is a guy you're very familiar with. He had amazing numbers. 35, 16, 8 assists, and 2 blocks. 8 of 16 from the field. But
well, you see those 8 of 16 field goals, six of those were 3-pointers that he didn't make it. So I think he was settling too much for his outside shot that game. Probably feeling good of his home court, and the Dragons played them very well. Stayed on their 2-2 zone and 3-2 zone, so they struggled shooting that game.
your starters for the CLS Knights, Evan Brock, Mairo Wisang, Ryan Williams, Sandy Cornyawan, and Febri Otomo. Very interesting. No Frederick Goldstein-Lish in the starting unit for Coach Coco. On the other end, Reggie Johnson joins Paul Zamar, Hirawat Shanachon, Jason Brickman, and their other world import Patrick Sanders as the starting unit for Coach Marty.
Very solid starting lineups for both squads.
You've coached against the Mono Vampire 2 seasons ago, and the improvement has been vast for this squad.
Yes, it's a totally different, different facilities, and I think they have their experience playing a big league, and they've been champions in the local league, so everything is going well for this franchise.
Let's see if they can translate that into a victory here today, but the CLS Knights will get first possession in this contest. The veteran Buisan passes off to Cornyawan. Sandy to Otomo. Otomo looking for options. Set this to Buisan, who wants to three. Won't make it. The first rebound from the game falls.
We see a lot of ball screen here with Reggie and Brickman. Expect that.
Jason Brickman goes to Reggie Johnson. This is from the three, exactly what you did not want him taking, Coach AB.
Yes, we didn't want that shot early, but he might be feeling it, might be making it in practice, but he hasn't made one day before.
Sanders defending. Evan Brock, the fadeaway jumper will not fall. The Mono Vampire. Brickman leaving for Sanders. Sanders measuring up the defense. He attacks. Travel there. Don't miss the shot anyway. Another miss from Johnson. Now he'll be shooting a couple of free throws.
Much better there for Johnson. He got the offensive rebound. As I mentioned, rebounding will be key for this game.
Offensive rebounding specifically has been a key for Mono Vampire to start this ball game. The first point of the contest belongs to Johnson. Mono Vampire played a team which only had one world import. Do you think this made them a little bit overconfident heading into that first game?
It might have been a factor, but when the Dragons really played very well in that game, so probably the second half was
Andy Cornyawan missing his first look from the three-point range. Paul Zamar, the familiar one-hander off the glass is good. 4-0 start for the Vampire.
Paul Samar is a scorer. He can score from inside and outside. We know how versatile Paul Samar is, and he showed that he can fake and go for that pull-up.
But his effort on the other side of the floor has been a question for him, but that time around, he forced a turnover.
Yes, I mean, we see some sense of urgency in Paul Samar's defense that time.
Two misses from the outside for Reggie Johnson. Now he takes it inside, but Zama hoists it from the inside and switches it. 7-0 start, and Coach Coco is not happy with how his team is playing right now as he calls the first timeout of this basketball game. Paul Zamar first nailing this one-hander. After playing D on the other end, he swishes this triple as he starts on fire in this game to help Mono Vampire get an early 7-0 lead. Coach, defensively, how should CLS adjust to this hot start coming from the guys from Thailand?
Obviously, Bone is trying to spread the floor. That time they had Reggie from the outside, and then he went inside, and then they had Sanders attacking. It free up Samar for those buckets.
We have a good crowd that has gathered on this Wednesday afternoon here in Bangkok. It will be a very busy day for the ABL as we have 3 games on tap. This is just the first one. playing in Malaysia and the Philippines. Block coming from Sanders, and you can see CLS wants to test the interior defense of Mono Vampire.
Yes, the Mono Vampire struggled with their defense, especially inside the last game against the Dragons, where they gave up 60 points to Marcus Marson, and mostly from the inside.
2 blocks there in that single possession for Vampire. And Zamar gets the ball again. He will not force the issue. They go to Chanachon. Sanders posting up much more. Wusang. Say goodbye. That was way too easy.
Yes, so they saw that mismatch and capitalized on it. Sanders is an easy turnaround jumper.
9-0 start for Mono in their second home game of this season. Wusang setting up the table back inside.
Report that.
Ball for Brock.
They're baiting Wusang to drive into the lane versus that help.
Another 3-point attempt from Reggie Johnson. 0 of 3 from that area.
He's probably showing me that he can shoot, but he hasn't shot well.
A lot of wrestling inside going on between Chanachon and Evan Brock. And we all know that while Brock is a physical specimen, Chanachon is a tough guy.
Yes, I really love this guy. He's got a lot of upside on him. Just 22 years.
Ryan Williams goes inside. Well, first 2 points for the CLS Knights.
That's what Brian can do versus Reggie. He can attack him face up and try to test Reggie's defense.
Brickman setting up the offense for Mono Vampire. Brickman gets a switch on him. They go cross court. Sanders, wide open 3.
And another open shot that time. They went inside out, wide open.
Good defense that time around coming from Johnson, forcing a tap, but the ball will remain on the side of CLS.
Mono's playing a lot more fluidity to start this game. More inside out, more screens.
This is from the outside for CLS. Let's see if Mono Vampire could make them pay. Zamar, another shot. Perfect from the field. Amazing start from this young kid.
It's been too easy for Mono.
Another completed stop for Mono. Brickman bringing the ball down. Goes inside to Chanachon. Chanachon misses the putback. Misses 2. No, it trickles in as they continue their scorching hot start in this contest.
Seems that CLS is a step late every time on defense. That time they gave up a live and a defensive rebound.
16-2 is the score in the first 4 minutes of this contest. Coming from Brian Williams. Somehow stop the bleeding, but he needs the rest of his teammates to start bringing that ball through the hoop, or else risk getting blown out very early in this game.
Now we see CLS now in their zone. They're testing the zone defense that worked for Malaysia Dragons the last game against Mono.
The zone defense has some holes in it, and most of them are from the 3-point range. 2 of 2 from the outside is Sanders for a 19-4 advantage.
I'm sure it's a good sign for Mono to make those swings early, since they will have more confidence versus the zone.
Again from the outside, this is from him. In that area, Brickman gets the ball, attacks. Another pass outside to Reggie Williams, who finally hits the 3.
Finally, I think he's due for one. But you know, they've been making it. They were prepared for that zone defense. They know that CLS will throw at them at some time.
Well, let's just say that for the season, Reggie Williams is 1 of 10% from the 3-point range right about now.
I know you will hate me. I was just talking to him earlier, and I was saying that he shot too much threes, and probably proving a point.
Brock taking matters into his own hands there, drawing a foul coming from Chanachon, and stepping to the line for 2 free throws.
We've been playing a lot of one-on-ones. It's either Brian Williams or Evan Brock attacking, or Mario Wilson high ball screen. But they're Mono's baiting them to go to that lane where there is help. So I haven't seen them kick out and make open jumper from the outside.
The Thai American Frederick Olsen-Lish checking into the game for the very first time. You know, when there's nothing going on offense for you, Lish could be the guy, just to create for himself.
Yes, yes. He's explosive, It's his third season in the league, so he knows the league. He knows how to get those calls, and he will attack, he will drive, and he will make things happen.
Played for high-tech Bangkok City in his first year, the West Sports Malaysian Dragons in his second year, now playing his trade with this Indonesian squad. On the other end for Mono Vampire, Puwatiwa, another shooter, checks into the ball game. And you see that this specific adjustment is for added three-point shooting against this zone.
Yes, Puwatiwa is one of the Asean's best shooters. And he killed me a couple of years ago with a half-court three.
Speaking of killing, Sanders absolutely making it rain from the outside. 3 for 3 from downtown for the World Import. Then loses the ball. Corneawan completes the steal. Take advantage. Corneawan yes, a look at wide open.
They played very well for them in their first game at home. I expect them to step it up here now that they really need some support.
A bunch of those from this shooter as they're down big in the opening quarter. Not too many fouls called in this game, Coach, as Mono Vampire has taken most of their shots from the outside.
Yes, CLS is giving them that outside shot, testing their three-pointers, and they've been paying daily for it so far.
But now the CLS Knights get a stop. They're looking to inch closer here in the opening quarter. 25-7 is your score. Crossover move.
It was a good attack by Goldstein that time. Didn't settle for the outside shot.
One of the veterans for Thailand, Chai, also checking into this game. Sanders posting up. Goes down. Tough shot. But Chai is there for the follow.
That's the third offensive rebound by Mono Vampire this game. CLS got to get those rebounds.
Because of the aggression of the World Import, specifically Sanders, it opens things up for their locals to score on those opportunities.
Yes, Sanders is an energy guy. That's an energy guy. He gives a ton of energy on both sides of the floor.
Sorry, miss for Apiron Chai. Wide open, two-point shot and not called. And now we go run on the other end. Good tap there to prevent the fast break play. Yawan will be taking a break now. They only have one World Import on the floor talking about CLS, as maybe Coach Coco was not entirely happy with how Brian Williams played those first few minutes.
Well, he started out pretty well, but down the stretch, I think he feel a bit winded.
He gets away with this ball.
Oh, it was!
Gets the ball back, misses. He will head to the line to shoot.
CLS should look to run in more. I think they have the tools to run. They have the tools to fast break. That time they went to attack, and test the defense of Mono, and attack them in transition.
Andy called for that one. He sends Goldstein to the free throw line for possibly his first point.
Goldstein is an open court player. He loves those opportunities where he can attack the basket on the break. So I expect them to run some more if they want to come back.
That ball will bounce back to the CLS Knights. Great effort coming from Saroni against Reggie Johnson. Williams checks back into the game.
Very quick press from Brian Williams.
Goldstein. A much bigger pool here. Goldstein. Outside. And look at the basket.
Very good. Create and dish by Goldstein.
This was what we were talking about. If you introduce someone like Goldstein into your lineup, expect him to create options for your offense.
Yes, create options for himself and for others. That's how good Freddie Goldstein is.
However, Mono Vampire continues to make it rain from the outside. That will be their 6th three-point conversion in the first quarter alone.
Yes, they're really quite they might be practicing all threes the whole week.
Brickman gets the steal. It's 3 against 2. Brickman will not force the issue. He's a very smart point guard. Tuatio hands it back to Brickman. Uses the screen. Brickman leaves it for Apirom de la Isla. Back to Brickman. Baseline jumper.
When I spoke to Brickman earlier today, he said he's got to be more aggressive in today's game, and he showed that he is trying to look to create and also score if needed.
Well, he is a pass-first point guard. There's no doubt about that. Gets a nice reverse layup coming from Jemilang, but Brickman is infinitely more dangerous when the defense knows that he is also looking for a shot.
Yeah, sometimes he just falls in love with his assistant. He gets about really shooting, but percentage-wise, he's very high percentage. When he played for that winning Malaysia team that we were together.
Another miss from the outside to Reggie Johnson. That goes in. The referees will have to review exactly what happened in that shot. Jemilang, the player of the week in terms of our locals in our first week of the ABL, at least finishing the quarter on a bright note for the CLS Knights. They've been bullied by the sweet three-point shooting of the Mono Vampire as they lead 32-14 after the first 10 minutes. Back inside Stadium 29 here in Bangkok, Thailand for the second quarter of Mono Vampire versus the CLS Knights. An outstanding start for the home team, dropping 32 big points in the first 10 minutes. And we've always known that this squad can put points on the board. It is their effort on defense that has been the big question for them. But so far, so good on that side of the floor for Mono Vampire.
Yes, and they're controlling the rebounds, 18-4. That's the big number. They're shooting well from the outside, but rebounding well. They have plenty of possession to score.
Good stop for CLS to start the second quarter. They want to get back into the game and will have to start from that area as Brian just dish as he adds on to his tally.
He's been aggressive in this game, but they're going to get more that and more fluidity in their offense.
Tuatio will not hesitate. He detonates for 3.
He won't hesitate at all. He always will take that first 3 if open.
Tuatio was 4 of 10 from downtown in their first game. Expect more of that from him, especially if the defense of CLS leaves him that wide open. Leads
to an attack by Mono.
And Apirong Vilaychay, this is the third time that he has leaked out in transition. The first two did not end up with baskets for them, but now he was able to bait for a foul, and he will be shooting free throws.
That's his game. He loves those open court, and he's a tough player. He can take those fouls. He can take it straight to the basket, and he's a tough defender.
What we got? Perfect.
Veteran making the first free throw. And his teammates are actively looking for him after they get the rebound.
Yes, I think it's one of the one of their strengths is looking at those fast break points.
Where is this offense going for? Williams.
Another inside points by Brian there. He's working hard out there.
Great matchup too when it comes to world imports, big guys. Williams versus Johnson.
Both players play in Malaysia, and I know both guys. They're very competitive. They love to bang inside. They can also shoot from the outside.
Your most successful season was with Reggie Williams when you won the championship. Coach, what made you think that Williams would be a perfect fit as an import in the ABL?
I needed someone that can match up with Howard and Steve Thomas that good. And we know that Reggie, the white body, can hold his ground during any big out there.
Somehow Apirong Vilaychay was able to save that. Askuatiwa wide open.
It's swinging threes here in Thailand.
The offense of the Mono Vampire punishing the CLS Knights 42-18 spread. I would have thought that this game would be this wide open in the second quarter.
I wasn't really expecting this, but more energy. They seem to be to sharpen up their shooting. They've been playing great defense. Also controlling the rebound.
Goldstein taking his first field goal. A wasted opportunity there for Chichay Ananti. Great pass, great lead pass coming from Reggie Johnson, but his local was not able to convert with a fast break layup. Samar has been outstanding in this game, continues to shoot perfectly from the field. 11 points. Who calls Samar?
It's been a field day for Mono, inside, outside. CLS has to really cut down on their defense.
Goldstein makes the
Goldstein is very familiar because I know he played a lot of games here.
Freddie Goldstein trying to give life into this flat CLS squad. Mono Vampire leads by a mile as we head into this time. Seconds remaining in the second quarter. 44-22 is the score, still in favor of Mono Vampire.
So far in this game, the duo of Boy Sang and Rock hasn't scored yet. They're 0 for 5 combined in the field.
And so far it has not been a good split. Boy Sang struggling with his offense. Zamar, good for the layup.
Another transition basket off a stop. That's why Mona's been getting those easy buckets.
Still perfect from the field. Zamar. Williams sets it out. 3-point shot is up. Sanders. A hot start in the first quarter. Will be stolen by the Knights. CLS off the running to Sam. This is that gimme, but they will regain possession. 3-point shot again. Another brick coming from Indonesia.
He could have got him in the game flow, but he missed that layup.
Zamar has been unconscious in this game so far.
Yes, he sparked that early run. Now he's continuing 13 points already for Bolsonaro.
I think that's already 16 points for Zamar.
Oh, yeah, I didn't count that.
CLS able to get it back with that conversion from Lima. Defensively,
I think their intensity in this game seems to be lacking. It's like they're just going through the motions, especially on defense.
Great playmaking there coming from Mario Oisang, setting the table for his teammate Rojo, who stepped to the line for 2 free throws. Nanti could not do anything else but give up a foul to stop the much bigger guy. Coach AV, I know that it is very early in the season, but we all remember the last time that Mono Vampire was here, they were the first to be eliminated. But now they're looking like they could be playoff contenders.
Yes, if to start ABL, I was ranking them in like the talent. Because I'm quite familiar with what Jason Brickman and Reggie Johnson can give.
Zamar will not miss from the field in this game. Amazing effort coming from the young guard. $18 points in the contest for the heritage import from the Philippines. And now Mono Vampire is off and running. Ball is stolen by Wisam. CLS counter attack. Wisam dribbles into trouble. Almost loses the ball. And sends it to Williams. Right by Chanachon. Now a foul is called. Williams will be shooting free throws.
You were talking about Paul Samar. He hasn't missed this game. 7 of 7 from the field. I'm sure his dad, boy Samar, will be very happy.
Product of the UE Red Warriors. Offensively, he's right up there with the best of them. If you list down the heritage imports here in the Asean Basketball League.
And Paul Samar is a scorer. He's known to be a scorer. He's known to be a scorer.
CLS Knights needing something, anything coming from Evan Brock. He was their leader in the last game. Very quiet ball game so far for the replacement import. Sanders. That falls again. Zamar and Sanders have been unconscious in this game, Coach.
Yes, they're making everything. That's a well-contested shot. And still, they were able to make it.
Ryan Williams trying to work for his 2 points, but he won't get it from there. 56 to 27. The speed is ballooning for Mono Vampire. Sanders, but Brickman gets the ball back with an offensive rebound.
That's the thing that hurts CLS the most, is that those rebounds that they were able to complete.
2 straight misses coming from Sanders. Another possession for Mono Vampire. And now Reggie Johnson will be shooting too.
You know, if you're a team that really hurts you made a good stop, but you weren't able to get that completed because you weren't able to get that rebound. And it's demoralizing for the team for that effort that they all put in for 23 seconds and then just gave up the offensive rebound.
The referee's clarifying that that foul was not committed by the act of shooting. Whatever, I'll get my 2 points some other way.
And it's now a 31-point advantage by Mono Vampire.
The difference between the team that showed up in the first game for the CLS Knights and this team, it's so wide. As they looked like unstoppable even with an all-local crew in that game.
Well, it's tough to play road games. And in the ABL, it's a home and away format, and you underestimate how tough it is to be playing road games.
28-point advantage for Mono Vampire after a 3-point conversion from Williams.
I remember when I was coaching, I would target to get 50% of the away games and win mostly our home games because that's really an advantage. You get to be in your home floor. It's tough. And being a new team, CLS, I think, is adjusting to playing away games.
Coach, when you were coaching, the importance of finishing in the top 2 was home court advantage. Now, the importance is getting into the semifinals with home court advantage.
Yeah. That's really big. And there's a quarterfinals. Those teams that will become the quarterfinals will be tired.
Yep.
It will be lesser legs.
Reggie Johnson proving to be unstoppable inside, and this is part of your frustration, Coach AV, with Reggie Johnson taking threes, because when he gets the ball that deep, he shoots what, 80%?
He's just mixing it up. He's just having fun. You know. Reggie also goes with his flow, with his.
Reggie Johnson wide open. I remember one particular game when he did that two-handed slam and he broke the rim.
Yeah, he broke the rim to late our game.
Eternal credit to the rims here at the Mono Vampire home court.
I think when they recruited Reggie Johnson, they were ready for it.
Reggie Johnson, 2 seasons ago, playing for the West Sports Malaysia Dragons, was the champion and the league's world import MVP. Brickman was the finals MVP. Brock, another former MVP from the ABL, so we have a lot of individual awardees in the league playing in this game. We sang another MVP.
So we have 4 MVPs here. Well, there's another half that CLS will have to adjust. I'm sure at halftime they'll make a few adjustments, a lot of adjustments, especially on their defense. And how can they stop the transition game of Mono in this game?
It's tough to pick and choose what kind of defense, what you will be playing if you're the CLS Knights. When you have Paul Zamar scoring 14 points, Sanders having 14, Reggie Johnson having 11. As a team, Mono Vampire is shooting 63% from the field, a whopping 66% from the three-point range.
And you know, Mono really worked on their zone offense, so you can't really zone them in this game because they're making all those threes. So you gotta really pick your poison if they're shooting this way.
Reggie Johnson in this game, 1 of 5 from the three-point range. 3 of 4 from the 2-point range.
Well, we know that he's probably just enjoying this game, getting the rhythm from the outside, but if he just stays there underneath, he's unstoppable.
I think the dunk of Reggie Johnson somehow caused a problem with the shot
So
clock.
it's that Reggie Johnson.
The rim was prepared, the clock was not, and you can see some of the faces enjoying the action here at Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. Lulls like this, when they happen in the basketball game, does it favor the team with the lead or the one trying to catch up?
Well, really depends. But if you're playing at home, you get an extra rest, an extra, good for you, for your legs, freshen up, especially those that play more minutes. But probably also time for CLS to talk things out and be able to make some adjustments. Obviously, they should involve Brock more. He hasn't scored in this game.
Coach, let's talk about the players who have impressed you away from this game. Who are the names that are popping in your head as guys to look out for in the ABL?
Well, of course, the one that set the record, 60 points. They had a Mamba-like machine gun market.
Sanders also proving to be a headache for the defense of CLS. Aside from Marshall, you have an amazing list of world imports, of heritage imports such as Christian Stan Hardinger of the defending champion Hong Kong Eastern Basketball Club. So it is shaping up to be a very eventful ABL season.
Yes, it is. It's 9 teams, very competitive, a lot of really good imports, a lot of Asean imports, heritage imports. They are very good. A lot of locals coming back. So it's really a very good season so far for the ABL.
But in this game, Mono Vampire jumped on the CLS Knights, scoring a 32-14 first quarter. Now the score in the second is 32-21. 14 points for Patrick Sanders, their world import. But it has not just been him carrying the load for the Mono Vampire. As we said, the leading scorer of this game is actually Paul Zamar, who has not missed from the field.
Yes, 18 points for Paul Zamar.
Coach, that's 18 points on 8 of 8 shooting. He also has 3 assists, so that is at least 6 more points. He has been involved in a huge majority of the produced points for Mono Vampire.
He's playing very well. So we're watching his highlights here. Inside, outside, open 3. No problem for Paul Zamar.
I think Reggie Johnson wanted a bit of a breather. That is why he hung onto that rim.
Maybe.
Look at this shot coming from Zamar, taking it over the defense of Brian Williams. All smiles for the heritage import, and why not? When it's this good for him and his team.
For the first game, Paul Zamar also played very well. He had that 3 to force it to overtime. He had 14 points. A losing effort, but Paul Zamar showing his consistency in the ABL. Jason Woodward also hasn't missed in this game. 2 for 2 from field goal, 2 free throws, 7 points, 4 assists.
Rebounding story 31 for Mono Vampire, only 12 for the CLS Knights. Assist 14-9. Just a dominant outing in the first half of this game for the home team.
That's really been the story, the rebounding. All those second chance points that Own has been getting out of their misses, which is only a few. So it's really a very good game so far for Mono Vampire.
More and more people pouring into Stadium 29 in support of the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. They were absent from the Asean Basketball League last season, but it was more to hold their skills. As you can see there, our crew trying to fix that rim that was apparently a little loose after that Reggie Johnson dunk.
So it's not Reggie Johnson proof. So, but amazing facility here by Mo. It's my first time to visit this arena. And, you know, if you have a franchise like this that's willing to invest, willing to make the team better, willing to get imports that can complement them, it's really a very good franchise to build on, or very good team to build on for the ABL. And they'll be competitive in the years to come.
And Mono, if you're talking about investment, has done a wondrous job for basketball in Thailand. They were represented in the 2017 FIBA Asia Champions Cup, where they finished with sixth overall, besting teams like Chinese Taipei, like Palestine, UAE, and what could be deemed as one of the more successful international stints for a Thai basketball team.
Yes, they played very well, and I remember I was chatting with Jason when they were there, and he had a very good stint in that tournament.
You see the Mono Vampire off right now.
The ABL is also like changing the landscape. Usually there's the two big imports that will dominate. Now there's teams that have one smaller import, one guard of an import, and one big, dominant big, as compared to the previous teams like that Stephen Thomas or a Phil Charles, who dominated the league. So it's quite interesting that teams flourish with different combinations this year. Quite a delay and playing Reggie Johnson. Second time he has done it in the ABL.
Reggie Johnson hurting the rim with a dunk. We're seeing a prolonged look at the crowd that has gathered inside Stadium 29. Only 43 seconds remaining in the first half of play. If you're CLS, where do you start? You're looking at this humongous lead for Mono Vampire. Coach Coco, what does he tell his players right now?
Obviously, they need to involve Evan. Evan Brock is a pretty good player, and he played very well in the first game. They gotta involve him, get him in the rhythm, and they gotta get more rebounds. They're badly out-rebounded in this game.
So some of the highlights in this contest, Zamar, as we've noted repeatedly in this broadcast, has been outstanding so far. No, not even just outstanding. He has been perfect so far, shooting 8 of 8 from the field. Lish, Goldstein, whatever you want to call him, trying to do his best to will CLS back into this contest. They haven't gotten enough help from their local crew, even from their world import Evan Brock, as it has been Brian Williams doing much of the heavy lifting for the Knights.
Brock is 0 for 4, and I think I haven't saw him attempt any in the second quarter.
Has been mostly jumpers too for Brock, when he could do so much more when he is rebounding and scoring on putbacks.
Yes, he needs to be more aggressive, definitely.
But of course, that's easier said than done when you're not dealing with a guy as huge as Reggie Johnson, who hastily throws the ball away as we resume action here in the second quarter. One show there to score those 2 points.
That's his 7th point, and they're looking at closing out this quarter at least on a good night.
Jason Brickman running the clock down. A 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. 64 to 37 is the score. Sanders attacks, goes to the spin move, fadeaway jumper will fall. Leads to court. Wayward as Mono Vampire continues to lead the way in their second home game of the ABL season. Of their offensive arsenal against the CLS Knights.
Yeah, 64 points is very high for a halftime. Really, Mono Vampires is really scoring at will in this game.
The CLS Knights might have gotten the first crack at the basket, but that was the only advantage that they will have in the first 20 minutes of play. Outstanding 3-point shooting coming from Zamar, Brickman, and Sanders has led to this humongous lead. Williams trying to keep the CLS Knights in there, somehow inch them closer point by point. But a searing display of offense coming from the team from Thailand has been too much for the Indonesians to overcome, at least in the first half. Goldstein also a good output, playing off the bench for the first time in this season. One of the rare 3-point shots made by the Indonesians. They'll need a barrage of those in the second half if they want to turn things around. And then this rim-rattling dunk coming from Reggie Johnson to punctuate the first half output coming from the Mono Vampire. Johnson and the rest of the guys from Thailand enjoying a 64 to 37 lead as we end our first half. Unbelievable advantage for Mono Vampire. 8 offensive rebounds, 23 defensive rebounds.
Yes, that's the story of the game. Mono shooting 63% from the field, and of those miss, they're still getting those offensive rebounds. So it's really why CLS fell in this game.
14 assists for Mono, not bad too for the CLS Knights with 9. But their defense has been wanting. You know, they played man-to-man to start. They played zone next. Did not get them any closer.
Yes, because Mono's shooting very well. They saw that from the first game that they struggled versus the zone, and give credit to Mono. They've worked on it, and they're making those threes, and they're attacking even those gaps on those zones. And credit also Mono. They have 5 blocks to 1 for CLS.
ขอเสียงกรี๊ดดังๆให้กับโมโนแวมไพร์เกิร์ลด้วยค่ะเย้น่ารักเช่นเคยนะคะเอาเลยค่ะและช่วงเวลาต่อจากนี้เดี๋ยวเรามาร่วมสนุกนะคะกับท่านผู้ชมในสเตเดียมทูนที่นาแห่งนี้กันนะคะสวัสดีค่ะ3หนุ่มของเรานะคะน้องอะไรคะครับสวัสดีค่ะน้องอะไรคะเจมครับมาจากโรงเรียนอัสสัมชัญธนบุรีใช่ไหมอัสสัมบางรักแม่โดนหลอกมานะคะต้องขออภัยนะคะเข้าใจกติกาหรือยังพี่เขาบอกแล้วใช่ไหมเดี๋ยวจะให้เรามาแข่งการชูต3คะแนนนะคะในเวลา24วินาทีให้ลงเพียงแค่2ลูกเท่านั้นนะคะใช่ไหมโอเคถ้าพร้อมแล้วเชิญได้เลยค่ะและคนแรกนะคะ24วินาทีเริ่มค่ะโอ้โหลูกแรกลงไปแล้ว2เอาต่อเลยลูกเอาต่อเลย2แล้วเวลายังเหลือโดงลูกโดง3โอ้4โอ้โหสุดยอดมาถึงคนต่อมาเลยนะคะเป็นเกมชูต3จุดนะคะกติกาคือให้ชูตบริเวณกลางสนาม3คะแนนและบริเวณลูกโทษนั่นเองค่ะลงเพียงลูกเดียวเท่านั้นถ้าพร้อมแล้วจัดไปเฮ้ยโอ้โหลูกแรกก็เกือบแล้วนะคะลูกที่2ค่ะ3คะแนนเย้แถมหน่อยลูกแถมโอเคและคนสุดท้ายกับเกมกับหลังหันชูตนั่นเองค่ะโอ้โหมีเสียงเชียร์มาแล้วนะคะหนุ่มๆอัสสัมชัญบางรักนั่นเองถ้าพร้อมแล้วจัดไปโอ้ตรงแล้วลูกแต่เพิ่มแรงอีกนิดนึงยังได้อยู่แถมทีมงานบอกแถมอีกนะคะจัดไปลูกจัดไป โอเคไม่เป็นไรค่ะถึงจะทำไม่ได้นะคะแต่ทางทีมงานขอมอบเสื้อสวยๆนะคะจากแบรนด์ริวสปอร์ตแวร์ให้กับน้องๆ3คนนี้ขอเชิญสาวๆโมโนแวมไพร์เกิร์ลนะคะมอบเสื้อให้กับน้องๆจากโรงเรียนอัสสัมชัญบางรักค่ะขอเสียงให้เพื่อนหน่อยโอเคขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณน้องๆรวมไปถึงสาวๆจากน้องโมโนแวมไพร์เกิร์ลด้วยนะคะและที่สำคัญค่ะขอบคุณผู้สนับสนุนเสื้อสวยๆจากแบรนด์ริวสปอร์ตแวร์และผู้สนับสนุนเกมการแข่งขันกิจกรรมดีๆแบบนี้ค่ะกับบริษัทโมโนสปอร์ตเอนเตอร์เทนเมนต์จำกัดค่ะส่วนตอนนี้ค่ะไปพักฟังเพลงและให้นักกีฬาทั้ง2ทีมวอร์มอัพกันกับดีเจของขวัญค่ะ
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're party and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you feel it and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're party and you know it, clap your hands. Zile eu alerg chiar mile pe Maidan
คนไหนอยากลุกขึ้นแดนซ์นะคะลุกได้เลยนะลูกนะไม่ต้องเขินอายนะคะ
Dar fără niciun ban ganja iarba sunt inutile numai tu știi gheață să-mi dai aripile în Jamaica sau în Chile inima face bom numai pentru tine numai pentru tine N-ai răspuns la telefon, no problem Te scot pe balcon și o să vezi cu ochii tăi cum ți-aduc flori un camion Și îți cânt așa cu chitara mea Dacă nici așa nu-ți place, ia mai zboară în Panama Ce Panama mai zboară în Panama zboară ce Panama mai zboară în Panama hai mai zboară Dacă nici așa nu-ți place, ia mai zboară în Panama
สุดท้ายกับการพักเบรกนะคะเราก็จะกลับเข้าสู่เกมการแข่งขันกันต่อในควอเตอร์ที่ 3 ค่ะ
When I walk in the club, all eyes on me. I'm with the party rock crew, all drinks are free. We like to rock, we love Patron. We came to party rock, everybody is on. Shots, 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 shots.
Begin inside Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. The CLS Knights surely had a lot of his instructions told to them by Coach Coco, as they will need to drastically alter their play to have a chance of getting back into this game. Coach AV.
Yes, they started really out flat this game. They changed their starting lineup, but they're starting now with their usual starters. Hopefully that they can spark something here at the start of the third quarter.
Red Goldstein sends it out to the leading scorer of this game. Williams has already 20 points. Sandy with his patented three-point shot. Great first play coming from Coach Coco.
Yes, well-designed play out of that break. Got them that three-quarter.
Times when you face a humongous lead against your opponent, how do you try to inspire your players to take it, just one possession at a time and inch your team closer?
Yes, you just gotta keep playing. That's what I tell my players: keep playing. Don't look at the score. Try to get a run. Do it on both sides. Get rebounds. Just play hard. Keep playing.
Another nice attempt coming from the CLS Knights, leading to a putback shot coming from Evan Brock. The defense there of Mono Vampire caught napping as it was Brickman trying to contain the world record.
Yes, that's the first point of Evan Brock. What a relief for CLS this season.
CLS with 2 straight baskets on offense. Mono Vampire with 2 straight turnovers on the other end. So this is the start that you would want if you are CLS.
Yes, this is the run that we've been waiting for all game long. Hopefully it cuts down the lead some more to a manageable level.
Now this play one more time. Chanachon tapping that ball out, but possession will remain with the Knights. Wissam, he has to wake up here in the third quarter. Wissam against Brickman, sends it out to Goldstein for 3. 7-0 run to start the third quarter for the Knights.
It's an 8-0 run, I think. Well, whatever that run is, they scored 3 straight possessions and made 3 straight stops against the Mono Vampires. So it's a quick timeout for Mono.
That is correct, Coach. 8-0. A 3 from Sandy Cornyawan, a 3 from Goldstein, and a 2-point shot from Evan Brock. And you can see that it is an entirely different squad that has showed up for CLS. They just look like they're more focused. Meanwhile, Mono is flat to start this third quarter.
We were talking about their intensity in the first half, but really wasn't there. And they are playing with a lot more urgency in this second half, and it's shown to start. Hopefully they can maintain it and make a ball game out of this.
Goldstein with that 3-point shot, but you have to credit half of that basket to Evan Brock with a beautiful pin down screen, catching Paul Zamar and making sure that he won't be there to challenge that 3-point shot. Early timeout for Mono Vampire, as Coach Marty wants to refocus his players to not play with the lead in their head.
Of course, basketball is a game of runs, and now they have to weather the storm and try to play the way they're playing in the first half.
64-45. Quick start for CLS here in the second half. Reggie Johnson. Pick out pass pass to Brickman. Brickman back to Sanders. Sanders. But offensive rebound once again. However, they throw it away.
Yes. Mono didn't take care of the basket that time, but it credit CLS defense for forcing that turnover. That's the 4th straight stop that CLS
The coach
had
Ariel.
in this third quarter.
Mono is also not helping themselves. They're taking difficult shots or turning the ball over.
Yes, I think Jason should have took that jumper instead of dribbling and finding the open man, because he was wide open.
Goldstein wanting back-to-back threes. Might have been a better idea to trust their offense. It has been working well for them so far here in the third. Johnson, Sanders. 15 seconds left in their shot clock. They go inside to Johnson. And Evan Rock. Johnson. Reaches. Put back. Also went for Chalachon.
5th straight stop. That's a good look from Mono.
Nice passing.
And now it's CLS getting those offensive rebounds. That's the 2nd offensive rebound by Brock. Almost making that putback, but he's fouled and he will take 2 free throws.
You can see that Williams lost the handle of that ball on his way up for the layup. But luckily for him, Evan Brock was there to get the rebound, and he will have to earn these 2 points from the strike.
It's a good sign for CLS. Brock's very much aggressive in this second half. It was all Brian Williams in the first half. He had 20 points that first half, but now Brock is contributing.
He had 22 points in his debut with Mono Vampire. A forgettable first half of play for him, as Coach Marty changes things up as he inserts Bulakila into his active lineup. Good strip coming from Brock. And now they have the advantage as the big man is slow to get down. Lish to Wisang for 3. Good.
Mono Vampire is silent for the first 3 minutes. They haven't scored in the second half.
Just like that, coach, it's down to a 14-point advantage for the Mono Vampire.
13-0 run in this quarter by CLS.
Well, Zamar, first miss of the game. Reggie Johnson and Johnson finally gives them a bucket here in the third.
They needed that. They needed that basket by Reggie Johnson from that rally.
No doubt about it, CLS is now back in this game as Brock adds to his tally with that mid-range jumper.
So even just his demeanor is in rhythm right now. He gets that stop, rebound, they're running.
Wisang. Wild with that 3-point shot.
He hasn't really found his spot yet. We know the ex-MVP can explode at him.
Sanders drawing the foul there. As Goldstein is left alone. He also lost his footing a little bit, taking him out of defensive position.
It was a good foul, preventing that easy layup. Now Mono has to score from the half court.
Almost a steal there for Goldstein. Sanders, kick out pass to Zamar for 3. No score either. So after a perfect first half, Zamar missed his first 2 attempts here in the third quarter.
In the third quarter, I've been counting the stops that Mono has. They've made 9 stops so far. Only one that the CLS had. And then only one time that Mono was able to score. A great defensive adjustment that Coach Coco in the second half.
14-point advantage. Could really just add on to that. He was fouled by Evan Brock.
You can see here Mono trying to score inside.
And at least here in the third, coach, we haven't seen the 3-point shot attempts coming from Reggie Johnson, as he knows the best way to help this team is by scoring inside.
They have to stop this run by CLS.
So careless ball handling there for the Knights. Punishes the rim on the other end. I hope the rim is okay. Compared to the last time that happened. And now we have a timeout. The CLS Knights with a great start to this third quarter. But the Mono Vampire doing just enough to keep them away for the meantime. We have a break. Reggie Johnson finishing the break there with a one-handed jam. If it was two hands, he would have taken down the rim again, but one hand, he was kind enough to let play go on here in the third.
But so far, it's only been Reggie Johnson scoring in the second half for them.
We're in the mid of a 15-4 quarter so far in favor of the CLS Knights, and they've been doing it mostly defensively. And in the first half, we were questioning the intensity of their defense. Now they're showing that, you know, they've practiced this and that they could unleash it at any given point.
Yes, they're playing with a lot more urgency in the second half, and we can see that there's more fire, there's more intensity in them. And those buckets that they've been getting are off those stops that they've been making.
Coming from Williams, a miss. The ball will remain with CLS.
That was a very good play of a timeout by Coach Coco. They was able to get a good shot, it just didn't go in.
9 seconds remaining in the shot clock for the Knights. Wisang gives it to Williams. They fake the handoff. Now they give it to Goldstein. 5 seconds left. Goldstein. Corner, three. Wisang. No. And Brickman takes down the ball. Pass it through Watiwa, who was not completely ready to shoot just yet. They reset. Brickman.
Too much. Brickman was able to penetrate that Freddy Goldstein defense.
It seems like the offense of the Mono Vampire has somehow recovered from that early attack coming from CLS, as they've been more patient with their attacks.
Yes, they were, and those buckets that they scored were all.
Sanders knows that he has a big advantage over Cornyawa, and they go to Reggie. Kick out pass to Watiwa for three. Ball, but Apiro and Johnson were there for the offensive rebound. Johnson misses the gimme, and the Thai veteran gives up a foul.
Look at how Johnson creates space for himself, and Brian Williams, wide body guy, but he was able to bother enough for that, forcing that Johnson miss.
Brian Williams, you know, his 20 points in the first half, coach, was really all they had to somehow still give them a chance of coming back here in the third quarter.
Yes, he was very aggressive. He was in the gym early shooting. And Brian is a competitor, and he will try to do the little things that can get them closer here and get them the victory.
Blocking foul whistle against Evan Brock. He wanted an offensive foul whistle against Sanders, but I think the referees got that one correctly. He was still moving towards his left when contact happened.
Yes, he wasn't able to establish position. But again, that's still good effort for Brock. At least he was there trying to not give up the win.
Reggie Johnson, this is with another three-point shot. Only one conversion out of 12 attempts in the season for the big guy.
Good luck there by Reggie Johnson.
Brickman leaves it for Apirong Dilaysay. Back to Brickman.
Again, the CLS good with their transition defense that time.
A lot of time remaining in the shot clock, but they move the ball. Careless ball handling there.
Just we can see, there's 4 guys from CLS rushing back on defense. Way different from what it is in the first half.
Sanders for 3. Rattles out, so he's also gone stone cold after a scorching start to this game, Coach AV.
Yes, that's the biggest difference also is Mono hasn't been making their threes. They're 0 for 5 in the second half of threes.
Wild attempt coming from CLS as Brickman goes running. Brickman. Johnson. I'm sure, Coach, I'm sure the people here inside Stadium 29 hold on to their seats every time he dunks the ball, hoping that he won't take the rim down with him.
I was holding my breath too. Yeah, I know how Reggie is capable of breaking those rims.
Reggie will not try from the outside, but Sanders is not ready for that pass. Indonesia will get 2 points from transition of that putback. Brickman looking for the big guy at the post. And he pushes it away to the willing hands of Evan Brock. Williams, nice pass inside. That is 2 straight fast break attacks coming from the Knights.
Good transition attacks there by the Knights, and they need those easy baskets for them to come back in this game.
Minute 17 left here in the third quarter. That shot trickling in for Sanders, so that is a good adjustment coming from this world import. He knows that the 3-point shots have not been falling for him, so he takes it strong to the
We saw that mismatch. Brian was guarding him in that transition, and he was able to capitalize on the speed advantage that he has on Brian.
Brian Williams will settle for the jumper. Will not fall. Jerome De La Salle gets the rebound. CLS, their defense has been good in transition.
That time again, they were able to stop the transition basket by Mono. Brock was aggressive to start this quarter, and they should go to him more.
35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. After that quick start coming from CLS, Mono Vampire has at least recovered somehow as they lead 74 to 56. 3-point shot is up, but it won't fall for CLS.
Last shot opportunity here for Mono.
Chance to grab a 20-point lead, even 21 if they make a 3 heading into the fourth and final quarter. Apiron De La Salle for 3. That's wild. And that will be it after the first 30 minutes of play. A much better effort coming from the Knights, who are looking to bounce back from a loss in their last game. But there is still a lot of work that needs to be done for Coach Coco and the rest of his players for them to score an away win against Mono Vampire of Thailand. The score after the third quarter, 74 for Mono Vampire, 56 for the CLS Knights of Indonesia. Fourth and final quarter of action about to begin here inside Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. Thank you for joining us for the first of 3 ABL games today. And Coach AB 18 points down for CLS. We've seen them make a 13-0 run. They would need something like that once again to start this fourth quarter to have a chance of scoring a huge comeback win.
Yes, basketball is a game of runs, and they executed pretty well their sets, and they were able to make a lot of stops in that third quarter. They have to play with the same aggressiveness and intensity in this fourth quarter to have a chance.
The defensive intensity was the biggest difference between the first half and the third quarter for the CLS Knights. In the first quarter, they allowed 32 points. In the second, again, 32 points. In the third, they limited Mono Vampire to only 10 points. And that allowed them to get a better flow on offense too, as they got a lot of fast break points.
Yes, a lot of fast break points out of those stops and out of those long rebounds when Mono was missing their three.
One of two from the line there. Almost a traveling violation as Goldstein gets the ball baseline. Goes to Brian Williams, scores all the glass.
Goldstein there creating for Brian Williams. That's the key for them to come back.
He has been a rock on offense for them as Sanders continues to miss from the outside.
Another stop here by CLS.
Corner three is over, but it's not one back is good though for the Knights.
They had a couple of those to start the third quarter. Great intensity again here in the fourth quarter. So it's just a 15-point game. Anything can happen.
So Brickman to start the fourth as Ananti quarter.
Ananti is a deadly scorer, especially for their national team, and you don't want him to get started.
Athletic finish, drawing a foul from Ananti, and now we'll step to the line for the bonus.
Good attack there by Goldstein. The previous possession, he attacked and dish out. This possession, he saw the lane, was able to finish.
No, Ananti is a deadly scorer, coach. We know his capabilities. He was with this Mono Vampire team in their first season in the ABL.
In the middle of the season, that time, but I remember when we played them, he scored about 18 points and mostly on transition.
But now he will have to settle for an off-the-bench role for this Thai squad. The shot too strong for Johnson. Good effort for Ananti. Well, they force a turnover as it looks like Goldstein touched it last. Ball will return to the home team with 8 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the fourth and final quarter.
Wasted opportunity there for CLS. But they're defending, they're grinding it out. They're not giving up on this game.
Zamar with a smooth finish there, scoring 2 more points, adding to his tally. Now 20 points in the game for the Heritage import.
That's his first 2 points in the second half.
So the last thing that the CLS need right now is for Zamar to catch fire again. So they have to put in more effort in trying to stop him from getting clean looks at the basket.
Yes, you know, they were able to do a pretty good job containing him in the third quarter. They should continue to do so and not let him against score, because he's missed this game. But we can see here, CLS, they're still fighting, they're still getting those defensive rebounds. Brian is there, grinding it out.
Still enough time for the CLS sides to engineer a comeback. They'll have to beat quick. And a foul is called against Goldstein, trying to steal that rebound away.
Yeah, they're trying to drive off Goldstein and play off Goldstein. I expect them to put in Brock for the last run for this game.
Zamar. bad play coming from him as he jumped without knowing exactly what he wanted to do with the ball. Indonesia not able to take advantage of it. Somehow ends up with the ball to score that uncontested layup.
That's a 4-point swing. Was an easy basket. Could have been an easy basket for CLS, but they missed and they give up a transition basket.
These are golden opportunities for CLS. If they take advantage, it could have been a much closer ball game with 7 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in this contest.
Yeah, that's a frustrating run. They get a stop. You had an opportunity for a fast break, but you gave up. You missed and you gave up a pass break on the other end.
Paul Zamar whistled for a personal foul. 14 seconds, fresh 14 for CLS in this possession.
Brock is back in the game now.
Three-point shot will not fall for CLS. And their locals have struggled to make those long shots for Sandy Cornewan.
Yes, it's been their weakness in the first two games. Their bench scoring hasn't really stepped up so far.
Shot was open and to extend the lead to 22 points for Mono Vampire.
They found their groove from the three-point area. That's the second three-point shot of Mono in the fourth quarter. They had none in the third.
So the advantage in the first half of play is proving to be just simply way too much for CLS to do something about it here in the third and fourth quarters. 22-point lead once again for Mono. That basket will count for Evan Brock.
He was wide open 2 seconds ago. They should be taking the ball, get him again in the rhythm. That's their chance.
Bangla doing everything he can to try and control Evan Brock inside. But it seems like he just didn't have, the size to alter the shot of Evan Brock.
I think the advantage of CLS is really at the Evan Brock position because he will be guarded by the left. So he should take advantage of it.
That is because only one import right now. Look at the intensity. Wangla on the boards. Too bad Ananti was not able to drill that three-point shot. Brian Williams, so he just to go.
The guy called that the knuckleball shot. He got a good groove, and his first job overseas after college was with the Dragons, and his coach in Tennessee don't allow him to shoot at all in the perimeter, but he's been developing that outside shot, and he's quite deadly if he can hit those threes.
CLS Knights with a last-ditch effort to try to overcome this huge advantage coming from Mono Vampire. They get a three from Williams, a steal coming from Goldstein, and a layup from Wulsang to inch closer in this contest. There's still enough time for one last big run coming from the Knights as they have proven that they're able to get a 13-0 last in the third quarter. Could happen again here in the fourth.
Yes, it could happen, and Coach Clark of Mono took this time out to make some adjustments and to quell the rally.
Brian Williams, the leading scorer of the CLS Knights in this contest. If Brock played as well as he did in his first outing, could have been a much closer ball game, but still, he has enough time to do something about it.
He started out flat, but he regained it in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, where it matters most, you never know if he will string up some runs here. But we'll see here what Marty adjusts here, or what play they will run here.
Brock with only 8 points in the game. Williams with 25. Goldstein has 13 points. Reggie sends it to Samar for 3. Won't fall. And Brock Colors another board. Brock to Goldstein. Pull up in transition. No. He gets the offensive rebound. Throws it away.
That would have been a big basket for CLS. But again, they miss. They give up a two-pointer on the other end.
Well, Zamar casually making that one-hander to extend their lead to 17 points halfway through the fourth quarter. Foul whistled against Wangla. Has done a yeoman's job of trying to contain Brock here.
It's a tough matchup. See, he was trying to push out in that screen.
And you know that Brock is a veteran. He knows all of those little tricks of the trade that force the referee to call a foul against his defender.
Yes, he's a veteran. He's a champion. So he'll take advantage of those opportunities. Now CLS, Mono now is in penalty. So CLS can take advantage of this in this end game.
Really good sign for CLS because you'll have opportunities to score with the clock not moving.
Yes, and they have that mismatch. Brock against a local defender.
4:44 left in this game. Bounce pass stolen by Sandy. 15-point lead. This is still, a lead that CLS could overcome. But he cannot turn the ball over. Williams to Forniawan. Emergency pass to Williams. The push short. Brock for defensive rebound. Evan Brock shoot 2 more free throws for his effort.
Evan Brock getting that offensive rebound, being aggressive. They were patient in that offense. Reggie was out there contesting Brian Williams' shot and gave Brock an opportunity for offensive rebound.
Chanachon, the starting big for Mono Vampire, checking back into the game. Kanut Samerjai also on the floor. And Brock is taking advantage of all of these free throws being awarded to him.
He was quiet in the first half, but so far it's been a good second half for Eden.
13-point advantage for Mono Vampire. 4 minutes and 16 seconds left. Now CLS is putting a bit of ball pressure on the backcourt. Goldstein. And that ball will go back to the Knights.
Yes, they're trying to create some turnover since the clock is not in their favor right now. But that's a good defensive effort by Freddie Goldstein, forcing that turnover.
Yeah, Sang and Goldstein tag teaming to force a turnover against Samerjai. Sang for 3. Could have been big, but Reggie Johnson is there for the rebound.
That could have been big. Could have cut the lead down to 10.
Jason Brickman. More solid ball handling. Scores on the glass for 2.
What a find by Jason Brickman. Finding that open teammate underneath.
Coach, that is the main reason why Mono has improved so much from their first track here in the ABL. They have an outstanding playmaker. I thought that was an assist
by Reggie Johnson there.
But still, you have to credit the gorgeous pass coming from Jason Brickman.
Yes. Jason will find you. You just have to cut. You just have to make yourself available. And sometimes you'll be mesmerized. Like as a coach, you won't even see it coming. You'll just flip a pass, and it's magical how Jason can really create opportunities for his teammates.
A tough break here coming from Brian Williams. He missed the push shot. You can see Johnson not even defending, and then he pushes off against Chanachon, forcing the loose ball foul. And now the ball will go back to Mono Vampire.
Full court press again here by CLS. Almost.
14 seconds remaining in the shot clock for the Ties. They go to Johnson, posting up against Williams. Johnson gets the move from Williams. He will shoot for one-hander. Less than 2.5 remaining. Mulsang. Goldstein gets contact, but won't get the shot to drop.
That would have been big if he got that basket, but he'll take 2 free throws. But again, it's a chance for them to get closer.
Mono Vampire has been in the penalty situation for the majority of this fourth quarter.
Boy, got it.
And now Goldstein leading up into the Mono Vampire lead. He will have to take a quick break.
I think this is the closest that Mono Vampire has come since the first half.
11 points. If they force another stop here, then we will definitely have a ball game in our hands.
Familiar high balls, top handoff play.
Johnson takes the handoff. Oh! He did not connect as well as they could wish, as Brickman was already on his way to possibly getting a layup. Johnson's pass was just a little bit behind.
That's a bread and butter play of them. It was the two-man game option, but just a tad wrong on that backdoor pass by Reggie.
Once again, a lot of ABL action coming your way. That's today on a Wednesday. First, this ball game between the Mono Vampire and the CLS Knights, and then at 8 p.m. we have Tanduay Alab Pilipinas facing the Singapore Slingers, and then the last game for today, it starts at 8:30 p.m. The Westport's Malaysia Dragons against the Chongson Kung Fu. You can all catch the action on the ABL's website.
First home game for the Dragons tonight in their refurbished arena, the Mava Stadium.
The host of the basketball competitions in the Southeast Asian Games. I also heard they will be sporting a new import. They'll have 2 this time around. So no need for Marshall to score 60 points, but he might just do it for the fun of it.
But those rims at Mava Stadium never fell.
Meanwhile, back to live action here at Stadium 29 in Bangkok, Thailand. 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in this contest. Mono Vampire has been in control for the entire ball game. But CLS hoping against hope that somehow they could manufacture a comeback of epic proportions in the final 2 minutes. Mulsang misses with a 3. Well, taps it to Williams. 10 seconds remaining. Mulsang goes to Williams. Looking for putting in 1 for 3. Good.
Down to 8. Here's the press again.
Still more than enough time remaining for CLS. Offensively for the CLS Knights, allowing Chanachon to score inside.
Mono was ready that time. I'm sure they talked about it in that last huddle to break that press. They expected that press, and they were able to make CLS pay for it.
Picture perfect play coming from Mono Vampire, but CLS getting those 2 points right back thanks to a turnaround jumper coming from
Maybe they stop right here.
Reggie Johnson melting away the clock. They're asking if they should give up a foul already. It looks like they won't do that just yet. Brickman. Chanachon. They go outside. Reggie Williams. Sorry. Misses the 3-point shot. Offensive rebound for Mono Vampire, and that is a back-breaking play.
Yes, again. That was what Mono got them in the first half. Now, crucial stage of the game, they give up that offensive goal.
Foul given up by Kurniawan. 52.2 seconds remaining in this contest. They will test the free throw shooting of Sektira in an effort to extend this ball game.
He's another ABL veteran. He played for them the last time around. Also a veteran of their national team.
But a lot of these players are actually very young for Thailand.
Very young.
I got it out. I got it out.
But they've been here.
Good on the line is Sektira to extend this to a double-digit margin, 95 to 85. 52 seconds remaining. Wissam against Brickman in a battle of two of the best point guards we have in this league right now. Wissam sets up a 3-point shot, but it did not fall. Sanachon with another rebound. Brickman running down. He will not force the issue, taking the ball out with him. Brickman with a display of his ball handling ability. Finally draws the foul coming from Goldstein. And coach, that should do it. Mono Vampire are about to score their first win of their comeback season in the ABL.
Yeah, good bounce back game for Mono Vampire. And CLS in their second half, if they would have played same eagerness in the second half, they would have been able to get closer in this game.
But coach, as it is often said in basketball, losses only count if you don't learn anything from them. And if you're the CLS Knights, there are a lot of lessons to be learned in those first 20 minutes of basketball.
Yes, it's just, I know they're still trying to figure it out. They're a new franchise. It's their second game away, and they struggled in the first half, but they were able to do what they were supposed to do in the second half. I'm sure Coach Coco is happy with their effort in the second half. They just have to start with the same aggressiveness, the same eagerness, and it's a long season, and they'll be playing at home the next game, so it'll be good for them.
How about for Mono Vampire? You built a huge lead, you lost it. What are the things that they should work on practice in preparation for their next game?
Well, they were in the second half. I think they started out slow, and they thought the game was over. They were more aggressive attacking in the first half rather than in the third. But they felt that they had the game under control. But those are really things that you can correct as the season goes on, trying to protect a lead better. But this, I wasn't expecting that this game to be a lopsided affair because both teams can be evenly.
Mario Wissam missing once again from the outside. Goldstein. Another miss from Mario, and the struggles from the field continue for the former Asean Basketball League MVP.
Yeah, it's been a slump for him in this 3 games. He hasn't really shooting that well.
More points for Mono Vampire before the end of this ball game. Great effort in the quarter, even in the fourth for the CLS Knights. But the lead of Mono Vampire was simply too big. After back-to-back 32-point quarters in the first half, they come away with this victory.
They dug up too deep of a hole in the first half, and they had some runs in the second half, but it wasn't enough. Again, Mono has proven it before, but they also gave up 25 points.
CLS limiting Mono to only 10 points in the third quarter. But still, Mono holds on to a 98-85 victory, a buzzer-to-buzzer victory. Their first win of the season in their first 2 tries.
And true to his word, Reggie Johnson, he said they're not going to lose this one. And he was able to play very well for them, but it was Paul Samar who really started for them this run. Huge run, was unblemished in the first half.
Patrick Sanders might have been very quiet in the second half of play, but the lead would not have been built without his hot shooting from the outside.
Yeah, both him and Paul contributed on that great first half by Mono.
4 players scoring in double digits for Mono Vampire, led by Zamar with 22 points, Johnson 21 points and 17 rebounds, Sanders with 16, Brickman 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists for the do-it-all point guard. On the flip side for CLS Indonesia, Brian Williams led them with 25 points and 15 rebounds, Brock 16 points and 12 rebounds, and Lish with 17 points. But for the second straight game, not getting nearly enough from their locals who played so well in their opening day win.
Yes, that's been their struggle so far in their away games. How the locals will contribute, or how their bench will help out their starters. But it's a pretty better effort for even Brock after being scoreless in the first half.
The rebounding battle heavily in favor of Mono Vampire, 55 to only 40 for CLS.
Same problems that CLS encountered against the Slingers. They were badly out-rebounded the last game and also this game.
Fast break points coach, 22 for Mono Vampire, only 8 for CLS.
That's a strength of Mono Vampires. They love to leak out. The other teams should look out for those leak outs.
As we take a look at some of the statistics, outstanding shooting from the field for the Thai team, 50.7%. They did commit 21 turnovers, but that comes with trying to push the pace at every opportunity.
Yeah, that's their running game, and CLS was trying to play their half-court style, and only 10 turnovers for CLS. But again, that rebounding numbers, 39 to 23. That's 16 extra possessions for Mono Vampire.
3-point shooting also a huge weapon for Mono Vampire in the first half of play. They made 10 threes, coach, in the first 20 minutes, only 2 the rest of the way. But it was, the amount of lead that they built that enabled them to somehow surf to this easy victory.
Yes, it would have been different if they would have just shot 2-3 points in the first half. It won't give them confidence in the second half. I think they were pretty much confident with their threes, as opposed to their last game against the Dragons, where they really struggled from threes.
How about the struggles, coach, of Mario Wuisang? He is 2 of 12 from the field, did get 5 assists, but for CLS to be a threat in our playoff run, he needs to play much better than he has done in the first 3 games.
Yes, he needs to be more aggressive. I think Mario, the veteran that he is, he's probably doing too much on the leadership side. He probably should just ball out and play. I think a couple of times he was passing off good shots. So he needs to be more aggressive come their next game.
That will be it from us from Stadium 29 here in Bangkok, Thailand. Mono Vampire Basketball Club winning 98 to 85. Stick around for 2 more games from your ASEAN Basketball League.